Tremolo. It's like if your guitar had a stutter.
Did I stutter?
In this video, we're going to go over the features of the Jam Pedals Harmonious Monk version 2. And then I'm going to show you 5 ways that I like to use tremolo. And at the end, I'll show you one way that I really don't like to use it. Okay, so the features on the pedal, they're pretty standard. There's some interesting things on here. For the knobs, we have the depth. Then we have the speed. It's going to be the rate of the tremolo. Then we have the level, just how much level is going to come out. And then the mix. And that's how much tremolo versus how much of the dry effect that you get. Then we have a couple switches. So first we have the switch on top. So that's going to be for an amplitude tremolo, which is basically your standard tremolo. And then if you flip it up, that's going to be for harmonic tremolo, which we're going to talk about what that is later. And then for the other switch, we have the waveform that you're going to use for your tremolo. So we have a square wave, a sine wave, and a triangle wave. Other than that, we have a bypass switch and a tap tempo. And that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple pedal, straightforward. It sounds really good. All right, so let's talk about some of the ways I like to use a tremolo. The first way to use it is just like a subtle dimension. This is just gonna be, you're gonna be mixing in a little bit in with your dry signal. It's just gonna add a bit more dimension to your guitar. It's not gonna really draw a lot of attention to itself, but it's just gonna add more character to that guitar sound that you have instead of just a regular dry signal. And this is great for rhythm parts that you just want to add a bit more character to. Okay, the next way is to run it before your drive pedals. A lot of times people run the tremolo as the last thing in the chain, which is the most common way to use it. But it can be interesting to run it in front of a drive pedal because what this is going to do is it's going to affect not only the amplitude, but the amount of distortion you're getting from the pedal. It's like rolling your guitar volume up and down. You're getting those changes in the gain as your guitar reacts differently to the drive pedal or your amp or whatever you're running it into. So this can also be used in a more subtle way just to add more dimension to the guitar. The next way is as a dramatic character effect. You hear this in songs from the 60s and the 70s. If as far as modulation goes, of course we're to define the 80s and the 90s, I would say the tremolo defined the 60s and the 70s. It just gives you that old character. You can hear it in songs like Bang Bang, You Shot My Baby Down by Nancy Sinatra, or Gimme Shelter by the Rolling Stones, or Born on a Bayou by CCR. These songs use the tremolo as a pretty dramatic effect that really just creates the part for the guitar. I mean, listening to Bang Bang, Baby Shot Me Down with no tremolo effect, it's just not the same song. The character of the tremolo has a giant effect on how you feel about that song. Okay, so the next way is to use harmonic tremolo for leads. I don't really care for amplitude tremolo for leads for the most part, but a harmonic tremolo I think works a lot better with the leads. And so what a harmonic tremolo does is it splits the bass and the treble frequencies and then uses the tremolo on those frequencies separately. And this is just going to kind of give you an added vibe to your lead sounds. One of my favorite ways to use it is to add chaos to a guitar part. You can do this more subtly or you can do it more dramatically, but a good way to do this is to use a square wave and then turn the speed all the way up and you just get this dramatic stuttering effect. And then you can mix that in just to add a bit of chaos to a guitar part. This can make it sound like there's multiple guitars because you can hear the stuttering effect with the dry signal, or you can just go full on stuttering effect and just make it sound like everything's broken. Okay, so one of the ways I don't like to use tremolo is as a timed rhythmic effect. And this is mostly for live reasons. And the reason I don't like to do this is because it's very easy to go out of time. Even with a tap tempo, if your drummer's not keeping perfect time, unless you're using a click track, that's definitely the case, you're gonna go out of time. And so then you're gonna have to tap back in. So I feel like it can just make it very difficult to use in a live situation and maybe just more of a hassle than it's worth. But if you're playing to a click, then you're gonna have an easier time with it. Thanks for watching the video. And if you liked it, I think you might like this one too.